So this is only the third week and he has been sleeping whole night, and I'm really good and I'm just so happy, and I love sleeping whole night, and I love seeing him in the morning when he's not agitated and he's playing, he's happy. And thank you, Jack. Thanks so much for your help, and I really appreciate your advice, and I'm really happy with the results. Thank you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're enjoying the content here. Please let me know in the comments below anything specific you might like to hear or see on the channel. The videos you're enjoying the most, videos you'd like to have more of, etc. So I can keep going bringing those videos and bringing any helpful information that I can to help you, to bless you and your family. So the topic of this video is actually on how to get your baby to sleep through the night. And this is compliments of a very precious friend of mine, Mandeep, who has, I believe her son is around 6 months old, and he's been having some troubles sleeping as of, a little while there. So Mandeep was asking me about it, and I shared a few tips with her that really helped with my 4 babies and getting them to sleep consistently, successfully through the night. And I thought it would make for a great video topic to make maybe a little series or a couple of videos just on the best tips that I have gleaned on how to get your baby to sleep through the night. Now, the first point I want to raise here is that her baby is not a brand newborn. Obviously, in those first few weeks, things are you got to sort a few things out. And baby may want to sleep heaps, baby may not want to sleep much at all, you're recovering after the birth. There's a lot of craziness going on the first week or two after birth, and there's still some great tips I'd love to give on that in another video. But I am going to talk about a baby who's maybe more 3 to 6 months of age, which is more where Mandeep's son is and has been during this time, and throw out a few tips in that age range to help you. And maybe you can trial some of them in other age ranges if you like, do a bit of research, but you can ask me if you'd like to hear about a specific age range, and I can see if I can offer you some tips there too. So as you know, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I have 4 children whom I've given birth to, and all of my babies, oh thank you, were sleeping fully through the night by 8 weeks of age. Now the reason that is not because they are so awesome or I am so awesome, although both of those are 100% true, but no, it was actually thanks to a brilliant book that my mum gave me when my first son was only 6 weeks old. And I'm going to do a book review on this. Many of you who know me already know this book. I've already recommended it to every Tom, Dick and Harry since I first had my son. But I'll be doing a book review on it soon. But basically the book taught me how to do parent-directed feeding. So where rather than demand feeding, which is what I was taught in the hospital, I actually began to parent direct feeding. So I set the times when baby would eat, which was anywhere between 2.5 hours and 4 hourly that my baby would feed. And mum gave me this book when my son was already 6 weeks old and still waking up 3 to 4 times a night. But 3 days after putting these things into practice, my son was sleeping soundly through the night. And by that I mean 8 hours of sleep. Wow! At 6.5 weeks old. That continued on, and so I continued to practice parent-directed feeding for the rest, right up until I finished breastfeeding him at 1 year old, yes. And then I did the same with my next 3 children. And the same thing happened, so you can't put it down to you just had a good child. Well, I had 4 perfect children then. No, it's because parent-directed feeding works. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, but here's some other points for you. The first thing I want you to consider when it comes to baby is to do the basics. Okay, the basics that you're going to want to always do is once baby's up, you're going to want to feed them, you're going to want to burp them and make sure they've got all the gas out of them. These are just the basic things you'll already probably know how to do. You're going to want to change their little backside, which could be, wet or it could be dirty, whatever. Get them all fresh. You're going to want to give them some cuddles and make sure they've had some physical contact and not just, slap dab them around, put them back to bed. You're also going to want to make sure that if you're putting them down to sleep, that they are either warm or cool enough depending on the temperature of the day. So I often see mums with little babies and they themselves are dressed up like it's, a cooler day, but for some reason they're anxious that their baby might overheat or something and they've got them in a singlet and shorts or something. or they go to put baby down just with a little wrapped up in a little sheet or something. Well, I don't know how well you would sleep on a cool evening just in your singlet and wrapped up in a little sheet, but I wouldn't sleep too well. I love to be rugged up, I love to be cozy and warm, and so does your baby. Warmth does induce sleep. So please make sure that your baby is warm enough. Likewise, if it's a very warm day and you're trying to rug them up in a bunch of blankets, they probably are going to overheat. So please dress them and wrap them according to the temperature of the room and your house. You will also want to have a look at the basic room temperature in their room. So you might be in the lounge room and it's nice and warm, but you walk into the baby room and it's cool in there. So you will want to maybe add an extra blanket based on that, or make sure the window's shut. Maybe put a little, a door thing down to stop a draft getting under the door. Things like that. If it's too warm in there, you may want to get some kind of cooler in there. You may want to have a window. I mean, you want to have it really safe, if you're going to have it open. You might want to more have maybe a fan going, or keep the door a little open where a little bit of cool air can come in. Whatever the case, make sure the room temperature and baby's dress and wrapping is appropriate. You want sleep-inducing things going on in here. So basically you want to do all that little checklist: feed, burp, cuddle, change, warm, all the rest of it before you put them down. Otherwise baby is going to wake up very quickly. In fact, baby's probably not going to go to sleep. You want to get them as comfortable as possible, and if they've got a big burp lingering there, they're not going to be comfortable trying to go to sleep. If they've got a wet nappy and it's starting to develop a rash, they're not going to be comfortable going to sleep. So they're the obvious things. Start with checking all of those things, and then we'll go on to point number 2 in a moment.